You know, I used to be the type of guy that listened to my ex-girlfriend say, I love dad bods. I don't know if you remember the trend a few years ago where girls were saying, oh, I love dad bods are in, all this stuff. And my girlfriend at the time, she said the same thing. She said, I don't like muscular men, I like dad bods. And me believing this, I was skeptical, of course. I was like, there's no way. I'm like, as a dude, I feel better, muscular, fit, etc. I was like, okay, maybe it's true. Maybe this woman will love me unconditionally. And I started letting my body go. I became the skinny fat dude, and I might put a picture in and you'll be shocked to see it because I look completely different. Everything, my posture, my body shape, you could tell I had low testosterone. My beard wasn't full. It was just, there's a bunch of things going on. But I stupidly listened to my ex, right? Even though I was skeptical, I let myself go. As I grew older, my metabolism slowed, my diet was shit, I drank beer, etc. And who knows, maybe she did unconditionally love me, but there were so many things that I did wrong, especially as a masculine guy. I let myself go physically, I stopped working out, was eating like shit. I then stopped behaving in a masculine way. I literally disowned my masculinity. You see, the reason I did that, and I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, but please comment below if you have a similar situation or you went through a similar thing I did, because I don't really know many guys who've gone through this. When I was a teenager and maybe my early 20s, obviously as a masculine dude, I was a masculine dude, you know? But the masculinity that I embodied was a lot of the shadow masculine, the toxic masculine. I don't really like calling it that because it has a negative connotation. It's very politicized and all this shit. But let's say the shadow masculine, the dark masculine. I was aggressive and I didn't know how to handle that, right? I kind of went too far in that direction. I was a man whore. I was addicted to women. And all the good masculine traits, I basically turned into something negative. I went into an extreme. I couldn't handle masculinity. I wasn't worthy of my own masculinity. I got caught up in my bullshit. I fell in love and decided to change. But I went to the extreme. I went to an extreme. I disowned my masculinity because I didn't know or have an example of a healthy masculine. I didn't know shit about feminine or masculine, to be fair. In college, in my college years, all these people were saying, oh, gender roles aren't real, masculine, feminine aren't real, etc., etc. So I just ran with it. You know, I didn't critically think about it. And I was like, all right, well, I don't like these aspects about myself, so I'm just going to disown it completely. And I was very neutral, very weird, very confused. So I had a good intention, right? I wanted to change. I wanted to be better. But in the process of that, I completely disowned the parts of myself that kept me alive, that I felt were integral to who I am. And they were. I stopped competing in a healthy manner. I stopped competing completely. I kept quiet. I really kept to myself. I was spineless. Like, I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings or become overly aggressive like I was in the past. So I became very passive. I became the Mr. Nice Guy that, if you've read No More Mr. Nice Guy, that was me, dude. It was me. So I went from this rowdy, aggressive, ambitious, very fired up, firecracker type guy to No More Mr. Nice Guy. It was an extreme shift, but I wanted to be better. I wanted to be a better man. I just went about it the wrong way. So at the time that my ex-girlfriend told me, oh, I like skinny fat bodies, it was, I would say, at the peak of that, where all my masculine traits, I shut off. And when you do that, when I did that, oh man, I was so depressed. I was anxious. I felt like shit. I felt like I had no purpose, and I had no purpose. I had gone to an extreme. I had removed the essential part of myself. I had essentially castrated myself. So of course, and I'm sure you will know what happens, but naturally, she lost attraction for me. And of course, I'm like, well, you said you like dad bods, you know, like I thought that wasn't a problem, but it was so many things at once that I did wrong that of course she lost attraction to me. Even if she had loved me, that was just, I went too far with it and I didn't understand what had happened. I had lost myself. I was going through a lot. I was going through grief as well. I had lost my sister, so I was grieving silently. I was drinking. She wasn't even aware I was drinking every day. I don't think anyone was ever aware I was drinking every day. I was working through some trauma. It was essential work that I needed to do to find myself again. But of course, I don't blame someone for leaving then. It's bad because obviously abandoning someone they're really down. But the thing is, I wasn't the man, I had lost myself. And that's why I really speak against men going into this more feminine type of healing or feminine type of path, because if it's not inside of you, if it's not authentic to you, it's going to hurt you the way it hurt me. I tried the more feminine route. I tried to heal the more feminine way, and I think there's a time and place for that. There's definitely a time that it can be helpful. We all have feminine energy, okay? That's just, it's normal. We all have feminine energy. We should accept that. We should love that part of ourselves. We should integrate that part of ourselves. But to make it our primary way of living, of healing and all that, it's not going to be effective. We're not going to live a fulfilling life. We're not going to feel purposeful. Men and women, masculine and feminine, are driven by different things. And it wasn't until I understood that I was able to change my life completely. If this is something you're struggling with, especially right now, with all the weirdness about masculine and feminine, the 50-50 relationship, polarization is looked down upon. You know yourself. You know yourself, your authentic energy. If you are a man, 9 times out of 10, maybe more than that, I'll say, or argue 99 out of 100, you will have more masculine energy. And that could be 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, 60-40. It could be any of those ratios, right? But the thing is, what will benefit you is the masculine energy. It's harnessing the masculine within you. That is going to be the game changer for you. That is going to make you want to wake up every single day excited for life. Because that's how I feel now. And it's night and day. When I was lost, when I rejected my own masculinity, when I was trying these things that weren't authentic to myself, I was depressed. I was anxious. I didn't feel good about myself. And all these people, all these different people were telling me, oh, just love yourself, accept yourself, do the talk therapy. That didn't help. I mean, it helped a little bit, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Some of it might have helped a little bit, but overall, that wasn't the switch from 0 to 1. That wasn't what helped me out. So if you have more masculine energy, that is what's going to be the 0 to 1 for you. And who knows, maybe you're turned off by the recent trend of masculinity, the Andrew Tates, the more prideful, anger fueled masculinity. That is a lower level of masculinity. I think it's essential because we have to move, right? Like the scale of consciousness. And I didn't come up with this, all right? Sumed from Primal Sutra. I'll link it if you're interested. But he's the one who, in a previous video, talked about it. So there's a scale of consciousness, right? And the masculine and feminine also rely on that scale of consciousness. For a good amount of time, masculinity was shamed, right? And shame is the lowest vibration emotion there is. Shame is all the way down here. So, you have the feminists, you have women, you have men, you have all these different people shitting on masculinity and making men feel less than, and men feeling guilty, and, male privilege and all this stuff. So it was down in shame. And naturally, to move up, if you look at it, anger is above shame. Anger and pride, they're still in the force, they're still lower level. There's still not good enlightened vibrations or emotions, but it's higher than shame. So naturally men went up that scale to pride, to anger. So it's not a bad thing, it's not a bad step. It's better than shame. Shame will lead you to suicide. It will lead you to annihilation. However, masculinity now must evolve into the next step. And maybe that's what you're called to do. Maybe that's what you feel you resonate with. Embrace that. Because that's the part where I was like, this is home. This feels good. Let that lead the way. And it is within you. It's already there. So this is a mission that we have. This is a task in front of us. If you're new to this channel, my name is Nathan. I go by Nate Rocks. This is my masculinity, spirituality, alchemy, all the cool shit like that. This channel serves as a space for the masculine collective. I want us to elevate men. I want this information to get spread out. I want us to move to the next higher stage of masculinity. I want us to show the world that the masculine is not bad. I want us to become the leaders of this new world. I want us to encourage and empower each other. I want us to build a brotherhood. I can't build this alone. You can't build this alone. So let's get on this mission together and make a change. So I made this channel to serve as a vehicle to give people information, to give men the tools to elevate themselves, share what has helped me, share how I've gone from darkness into light, share how I went from depressed, anxious to now confident, masculine, etc. How I went from being asleep to now being awake. So join me, please subscribe, like the video, share it if you resonate with this, if you think someone can benefit from this, and I'll see you in the next video, bro.